Okay, check, check, 1, 2, 3. Right. Uh, Everyone already here? Okay. Have you eat for lunch? Raise for those who still not lunch. Siapa yang belum makan? Cuma nanya aja. Alright. Okay. So we will have a guest lecture today, right? So I try to deliver in English. So each of you, if you have any question later on, please feel free to ask. And then we also try to practice our English later because Mercu Buana also have vision become international university. Okay, right. Shall we sit?
Oh, shall we sit?
Yeah. Okay. Is there any Burikan? Is there any no, what we call it opening or something? Or just start? Okay, right. Uh, nah.
It's okay. Look here.
Okay, right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, student of undergraduate Faculty of Psychology, Universitas Mercu Buana. So all of you are came from uh, Mr. Sabir class. Okay. Is it entrepreneurship one? Oh, two. Oh, one and two. Okay. One plus two, it means three.
Wait.
Okay. Right. Okay. Uh, may I have attention, please? Please welcome to guest lecture event. My name is Dani Irmawan. I'm also the lecturer in Faculty of Psychology. So it is my pleasure to become the moderator for this session, Tuesday, 9 July 2024 in Auditorium Professor Harun Zain now. Okay, first of all, I would like to welcome you all to this session. In this special occasion, we would like to have lecture about building entrepreneur skills, T-shaped professional. Okay, so we will hear what kind of T-shape from our guest lecture. Okay, before the lecturing session begins, I would like to introduce the speaker. Uh, does everyone already know him?
Yesterday?
Yes,
Oh, you already
yesterday.
saw.
Oh, okay. So who has who had attend yesterday, please? Raise your hand. Oh, no. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. So yeah, yesterday.
Morning.
Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Okay. On on Monday. Yeah.
Monday. Yeah.
Right. So I think you don't have to dig.
No, we can start.
Yeah, we can start. He is Dr. Mark Govers, Associate Professor of Health Services Research School of Caphri. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Caphri? Care and Public Health. Rest in Faculty Health, Medicine and Life Science. Okay. Without any further ado, please, Dr. Mark Govers, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, as you already have seen me, I don't have to show you on the map where we're located, but I want to say again, please remember, we Dutch say it without anesthesia. Yeah, remember? So you go to the dentist and you pull it out, and sometimes very painful without anesthesia. Sometimes it can be very direct. If somebody feels offended, I already apologize. Yeah, let that be clear. Okay. Well, I already introduced myself as was said yesterday, but let's do it briefly again. I have a background in organization management and digital, bachelor's, master's, PhD, and I work at the University of Maastricht. Although I'm located at the Faculty of Health, Medicine, Life Science, especially health sciences, but I also do other stuff. I work with colleagues from Faculty of Psychology, Neuroscience, I also work with colleagues from the business school, so I try to be in more places than only one. Yeah. Okay. Ah, yeah. So, and besides that, I also do all kind of traveling. I like to travel. It's very unsustainable, so I like to go to many places like Indonesia and for instance, but also many times had the opportunity to be in South America, North America, so also for teaching and other stuff. So, having said this, let's focus on the topic for today. Yes, ah, yes. So that's what we said. You where the Netherlands is, I guess, on the sea, very small country, yeah, and I am located here in the bottom, somewhere here. You see in the bottom here, closer to Belgium and Germany. Actually, I'm very close to the border, 5 kilometers, and we're already in another country, even another language, French, for instance. Huh? Okay, so that's what we said. I'm going to skip this. Entrepreneurship. As you have been doing entrepreneurship 1 and 2, I might repeat a few things, but I need to repeat that in relationship to certain topics that we're going to discuss. The T shape. And what the T shape is, we will see later. Yeah? But that's the T shape. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Not a T-bone, that's something else. I have very good ears, but that's something else. It can also be very good, yeah, but this case it's oh, look, lumpias.
Ah,
You
interesting.
know, in the Dutch language, we have many things related to food, like nasi goreng. We have nasi goreng. Koek. Yeah, you call it different, yeah. Sambal, yeah. Sambal. Lumpias, yeah. So we know these things, yeah. So that's what we got from when we still were in a maybe less favorable way connected with Indonesia, many years ago. No, but entrepreneurship. Look, if you look at where the word entrepreneurship comes from, actually it's a French word, and basically it's entreprendre. My French is not so good, but it basically means somebody that takes action, somebody that does something. Yeah, that's the basic word. And the question then is, what is this person doing? Now, um, well, you see this house here. This is a very famous house when you talk about entrepreneurship, because this house was occupied by someone that some of you at least may not know personally, but at least are using his or her, I leave it in the middle, product. Do you know which house? Actually, it was the parents of this person, was his not own house, but was the parents of. Do you know any idea whose house this could be? From whom? Sorry? Not Bill Gates. But you're close, but not Bill Gates. It's Steve Jobs. Because as you can see here, taken from the movie here of Steve Jobs, you see here that often you see the idea about entrepreneurship that many people have is that it starts in the garage and people have an idea and from the garage and they do all kind of stuff and eventually they end up in something like this, the new headquarters of uh, Apple. So the traditional way is you start a business, entrepreneurship, starting a business, and then and become rich and famous, yeah, so to speak. Yeah? Of course, that is not untrue, but it's not always reality. Huh? Because, as said, traditionally the definition is um, the definition is starting a new business, scaling up for profit, and creating that business capital. Basically, what I just mentioned. Now, if you talk about this entrepreneur, you could say there are a few activities, a few um, things that these people undertake. Of course, creating the venture or the business. That's something what they do. Yeah. But besides that, they also have to make decision on how to lead this whole endeavor. Yeah. It also means that they have to secure capital because they need to invest. Yeah. It also means that often they have to work also with their own capital, not only with capital of others, especially in the beginning. So that means also they also bear quite a lot of risk associated with, that undertaking. Yeah, so they also take risk themselves. And of course, what's also important, very important, is that it never is always a, a bullseye shot from the beginning. That means you have setbacks. It goes up, it goes down. Sometimes you have more success. Sometimes you have a lot of failures, problems. So you need to be able to deal. Please take a seat. And you can also come here. No worry. You can also come here. Smile to the camera. Smile to the camera. Important traits, characteristics, you could say, you need to be passionate about your idea. Because if you don't have passion, how can others be passionate? Doesn't make any sense. Um, you also need to have sensitivity. Uh, you need to smell something or smell of have this sensitivity that something, an opportunity is out there just waiting for you to grasp. So that's a sensitivity you need. You also need to be creative in a way. Creative not only in the way of designing matters, I will see that a little bit further, but also find ways to solve problems. Finding means, finding money, for instance, finding resource, people that can help. You need to be creative in that regard as well. And you also need to have confidence. People might say, you're crazy, this is a crazy idea. But if you believe in your idea, you have to continue, you have the perseverance, so to speak, to continue with your idea. Because many ideas, which are now seen to be normal, in the beginning were often seen as crazy ideas. Yeah? So that's why I'm always saying, when you're creative, go crazy. But we will talk about this later. And of course, you need to also be flexible, because you need also to be agile, to move around and find your way in order to come forward. Um, Now, maybe the picture is not so clear, but often you see that you start here in the beginning with an idea. You started there in the yellow part, you start with an idea. And of course, then you go into a startup phase, and then maybe go to a scale up phase. And then maybe, you might even go to the stock exchange and bring your organization to the stock exchange so that people can actually also get stocks of your company and also enjoy the success with you. Yeah. And in exchange of that, they give you some additional funds. Yeah. But of course, this is not something that goes overnight. In the beginning, you work in your garage, and then maybe by having finding a co-founder that wants to join you, you have angel investors that see in the beginning want to invest. Yeah, that makes sense. This might be something. You know, or later you might even go to a venture capitalist, etc. Yeah, thank you. And then even you might go to investors, and you eventually might go to the stock exchange. You see, different steps that can play a role here in that development phase. But you may start in your garage, yeah, uh, and, and that brings to hopefully to a certain success. But let's also be realistic, not always. And in many cases, you will never, let's say, come further than a startup scale up, because you see often that in the scale up phase, let's say 4 or 5 years, then you see sometimes that these companies disappear. That is not bad. That is also normal economics. Yeah. Um, you might be working on project. I hear that you're also working on projects. Yeah. Can you share some projects you're working on? Because maybe I want to become an angel investor. You never know. Yes. What kind of ideas are you working on? Yes. Oh, what system? Okay. Oh, good. Nice. Reminds me of a story, and then I will ask others. I have a very good friend, and she used to work at HP, the Hewlett Packard. and she's already a little bit older. So she was working in Silicon Valley, as we call it. And in that time, we were still working with big computers, hardware. The word software was not really known yet. And and my friend is called Betsy. So Betsy, if you see this on YouTube, Betsy, I'm talking about you. Uh, and she said to me once, when she had experience, colleagues of her brought her, "We have an interesting speaker. Let's come with us." And she was sitting in the audience. It was an intern in the company, and there was a guy sitting. It was Bill Gates, and he was, and she said, "I should have invested $1,000 in this company. It was very small. That would be multi millionaire." So maybe that's an opportunity. What is your name? Maybe it's a new Bill Gates. Well, think about it. Maybe good idea. And get some shares. $10. $10 can only make you rich. Okay, other ideas. Other ideas that you have. Lady entrepreneurs. Where are the lady entrepreneurs? Oh, here. What is your idea?
My idea.
Yeah?
I have a startup, and then I developed psychological testing
Oh.
for student in apa ya daerah-daerah terpencil.
The
So
rural areas.
in a remote area,
Rural areas. Okay.
rural area or remote something.
Because they cannot pay psychological testing much gitu, so I built it and then
In software.
yes.
Okay. Good. Good.
Nice.
Yeah, good idea. Other ideas that you're working on? I'm trying to get a feeling here where to invest my money. Yes? Yeah?
Right.
Okay, other ideas? No? Don't be afraid,
Please,
We will not steal your idea.
right wing, please.
Yes? Ladies, any ideas what you're working on? No? No? What kind of business? What is your business? Cosmetics or maybe I don't know. Okay. What is that? Fishing. Oh,
Fashion.
fashion. Oh, fashion. 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 Yeah, I can see that. Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Okay. Now, often we think about these big companies here, huh? But also look here. For instance, um, many companies are just small companies. We also have to understand this. Economy thrives on small companies. For instance, this here is an idea. It's a local company in the Netherlands, and this guy had an idea. How can we wash people without water? So his product is how, if we don't have water available, how can we still, let's say, in a medical context, wash people? So he created a product where soap, etc., is already in the product. So you take a sort of paper out of it, and that is very hygienical, etc., and then you can clean a very hygienical way. You don't need water for that. So you can imagine itself a very nice idea, but to get this sold, to get, let's say, nurses and medical people to work with this, very difficult. You have to find all kind of ways, sneaking in, offering it, try it out, all kind of things. The idea, the product is wonderful, but to get it, let's say, interested by, so that nurses, etc., want to use this, very, very difficult, difficult. But he succeeded, and actually, you can imagine when Corona or COVID hit, this product was booming like hell. So, but you also see, if you have an idea, depending on the market you're in, and for instance, healthcare, for instance, is a huge market, but very difficult market to get your product landed because sometimes, and healthcare is an example, there's not only the only example, many other examples as well, that we are dealing often with conservatism. And people are used the way they are used to do things, and if you want to bring new things to them, sometimes people, feel reluctant, especially in the healthcare sector. You see this very, very reluctant. for obvious reasons. But anyway, um, this here is also a very interesting company. I just want to talk about a little bit to get a feeling. This is in the Netherlands, as you know. We are a biking country, so we bike a lot, you know. But for instance, if students go and live in another city, yeah, how to get a bike? You can steal a bike. This happens, you know. But this company that said we're gonna do something else. We have the title Swap Fiets. Fiets means bike, yeah. Swap bike, but the company is called Swap Fiets. And then you can basically, as it states here, basically you can take a subscription, you pay a month, and then basically you get a bike. And if you would make a business model, I'm not sure. Have you ever worked with such a thing here? Business
Yes,
canvas?
this
Huh? So I filled already many things for you here,
the MC.
and we're not going to do that. But if I want to ask you, well, no, we're not going to take 7 minutes, but if you see this company, the swap bike company, yeah, who is the target market? Mostly students, yeah. So we have the blue one filled in, basically students. But what is now the core value proposition they bring to these customers? What do you think? Maybe take a moment to talk with your peer. What is the heart of this business model? In other words, the value proposition. What are they selling? What are they offering? Why should people consider to get a bike from them? The swap bike. What do you think? Ladies, any idea? So what do you think? Can you give me something? What is the core of the value proposition? Don't be shy. Normally you're not shy.
Yes.
Outside the class you're not shy, so don't be shy here. So what do you think? Any ideas? Come on. So what do you think? I saw you thinking. What do you think? What is the value proposition? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah. Yeah? Come on. Don't be afraid. Come on. Come on. Say it. Come on. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm asking for your opinion. Yes. Say it in Indonesian, then we'll translate.
Penyewaan sepeda. Penyewaan sepeda. Iya tuh biarin maksudnya efisiensi kalau ya kalau ada maling gitu atau sepedanya kemalingan udah. So you say that for the efficient. So if the bike missing or something, we don't have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. You could say something like, basically, you have an always working bike. The bike is always working because
Yes.
if there's problems, maintenance, whatever, you can go back to the show. Sometimes they come and pick up the bike and you get a replacement bike. Yeah. So it's very flexible. So you don't have the ownership. So you don't have to buy, you have to pay a monthly fee, but you all the hustle, you know, if a bike is stolen or flat tire, whatever, they take care of this. So that's quite, and basically they're focused on city people, but mostly it's the students. But you also see now more and more they're focusing on companies where they offer to, let's say, employees to have bikes with electric bikes with a battery, so that they can move around, etc. So because more and more companies are also investing in ecological transportation. and then they use also the swap bike. A new business ideas emerging. Yeah. So, and I guess, and what I always suggest to my students is if you use the business model canvas, try. It's not important that you have a lot of elaboration on all the topics, but that you understand the connection between the building blocks and try to explain the core of the idea. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, in the communication, for instance, the people that you want to get interested in your idea. Anyway, okay, hopefully this brings you a little bit in definition, what the traditional way is of entrepreneurship, idea, create an idea, create a value proposition, a business model, and then hopefully start up and maybe go further. Yeah. This is also an idea which is very interesting. This comes from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where they have primarily developed a pathway to bring more products orientation to the market. So you can see here, it's a very flexible process. You need to be very flexible. Different phases, which are, for instance, who is your customer? The blue ones. What can you do for your customer? Because if you don't do something for your customer, why should the customer be interested in you? Huh? So often, what I always say, try to look for frustrations, irritations, because this is a trigger point. If you can take away frustration, irritation, then you make people happy, and then of course they want to do business with you. Um, the gray one, sorry, for instance, how can they buy? Can they get your product is also important, huh? But also how can you make money with your product? How can you develop your product and your organization around it, and then eventually how to get this going? You see all kind of different phases, to show you that you go from idea to potentially startup, and that's just the beginning. You can all see how difficult this can be. It's not an easy task. And then, of course, this is just the beginning, and then you go into maybe further on developing, etc. And even sometimes it goes down the drain. That is how reality it is, yeah. But that's also the fun part. Now, but as I said, the definition that I just gave you about entrepreneurship is the classical traditional definition that it has something to do with a startup, building a business, etc. Very, very traditionally defined. But nowadays, you see that the definition is much more about the entrepreneurial skill sets. Yeah, so it's about creating or seeing the opportunities. Very opportunity. There is see opportunities. Do something with the opportunities, and make sure that you are then creating purpose. And with this purpose, you hopefully get value. It can be economic, but it can also be social, or it can be cultural. So it's not only economically driven, it can also be very socially entrepreneurial. So, for instance, if you have problems like you do, for instance, maybe if your purpose is not to make money, but you want to do something for the underprivileged. Of course, you have to find money to get this going, but your main purpose is not making money, but you want to do a social good thing. And that also can be an entrepreneurial endeavor. Huh? It doesn't, it's not because it's not about money, that's easy. Huh? It can be as difficult. Huh? And it can also be combination. You see more and more now modern companies that they want to make a combination with the three. They have economic value, but also social responsibility. So that becomes more and more, let's say, the issue. And I can imagine, especially in the field of medicine, healthcare, but also psychology, more social entrepreneurial endeavors often make more sense because maybe it's not always easy to make the money there, but still you might have all kind of social problems that you want to deal with. I mean, social problems in society, problems in society. Yeah? And okay, so opportunity and value are the most important thing. Value, not only economic and also social, culturally, but an opportunity. What is an opportunity? And entrepreneurs, they don't see problems; they see opportunity. So where people see a problem, I say, "Oh my God!" And they always the same problem. Say, people see a problem here. When I can solve this, I have a solution. Yeah? So problems. So if you see problems and you define problems as problems, then maybe your entrepreneurial skill set is not that well developed yet. But they say, hey, this is an opportunity, then that's the basis of the entrepreneurial mindset that you can develop. So look out for problems, irritations, and see what you can do. Yeah. So, and that creating that value based on what the opportunities that you see has everything to do with this entrepreneurial thinking and acting, which is about trying out new things, even if you don't have any money, even if you don't have any resources. You find your way to talk with friends, maybe peer students, or an uncle, whatever, that can help you with something to get you going. Yeah? You don't have to pay. Maybe you wash the car, and instead of that, he or she does something for you. So you find creative ways to get going because in the beginning you don't have money. And when you start in your garage, well, mostly it's a garage maybe of your parents, huh? So you may use the garage, but because you can't afford to have an office or a building, whatever, so you need to be creative. Yeah, that is the entrepreneurial skill. Don't see it as an, oh yeah, I don't have money, I can't do it, something. You can also say, I don't have money, what can I do instead? Yeah, that's the entrepreneurial mindset. So, um, so you could say entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial acting is not a job, it's just a mindset. Yeah. So here are some traits you can think about. You need to be adaptive, curiosity, oh, how does this work? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you take everything for granted, then maybe, you don't have the spirit. So this curiosity to figure out what is going on here. Huh? Open to uncertainty, Don't be afraid of uncertainty because many people are afraid of uncertainty. But if you can deal with that, you have an advantage. Yeah? Um, Perseverance. People say, stop with this nonsense. So that's a stupid idea. No, you believe in your idea and you continue. Yeah. Um, Proactiveness. Try to be ahead. Think ahead. What can we do? Sensitive for this opportunity. That's what I already mentioned. And many other traits are as well. Now, maybe about this here, just to show also that governments find entrepreneurship also very important. Because entrepreneurship is the engine of economic prosperity. So, for instance, in the European Union, you see that they invested in what they call the Entrecomp, that means entrepreneurial competences, to develop and give a sort of framework that education institutes can use to develop courses in order to trigger entrepreneurship. That means that you all develop entrepreneurial skills, which is good for the country, good for you, and good for the country. Yeah? So, for instance, it has to do with what you can see here, ideas and opportunities, which I already mentioned. Yeah, seeing ideas, building ideas. We will talk about innovation and creativity a little bit further on. But also dealing with resources, dealing with people, mobilizing people, getting, let's say, understanding how finances work. What is meaning of financing something? What is a balance sheet? What is a profit and loss? These kind of stuff. You need to know that as an entrepreneur, because if you don't know how money works, eventually, you have to pay people. And if you can't pay people, you go bankrupt. You have a wonderful idea, but if you don't understand the finances, yeah, that's a waste of time. So you need to develop also, or find someone that can help you with that. Yeah? Not always necessary that you understand this, but at least that you understand it's important. You don't have to do it yourself. And then here in the green one is also, it states here, again, what is it again? Oh yeah, action, how to bring things into action, basically. That is important stuff. I will not go into detail now, but if you're more interested in this, you can go to the website from the European Union and you just type in Entrecomp and then you will get all kind of, let's say, more information what's behind this concept. This can be very useful for you guys. Yeah. And it gives you also as students an idea, one back, it gives you also an idea as, and I call you students, but normally I should not call you students, I should call you young professionals. Yeah. You as young professionals, yeah, you can take this and see what kind of areas are considered to be important, and you can ask yourself, do I know something about this? Do I want to know something about this? What do I know about? And then you can make, let's say, an own assessment to see where you already have sufficient competences and where you're missing things. You can also make your own plan, so to speak, your development plan. Now here is something I already always also emphasize to look at. Have you ever heard of the World Economic Forum?
Yep.
World Economic Forum. That's a world-based well, community, so to speak, where opinion leaders, people from government, people from business come together once a year in Davos, huh, in Switzerland, and then they talk about all kind of important stuff. And what they always do is they always make a skill set which they think are important for the next 5 years. For instance, this was 2020 going to 2025, and we can go to the list and show me your hands and be honest with yourself, because this can help you to what an understanding you have about to what extent you already have the skills to be, well, not successful, but valuable for organizations. For instance, who of you already has analytic skills and innovative skills? Okay, you know what to do, you know what to work on. Active learning. Who knows how to do active learning? Okay, you have to. Complex problem solving.
Oh.
I think you're very shy. Yeah. Critical thinking, creativity,
Yes.
leadership, and social influence. Yeah. Or technology, using technology now, digital. Digital. Look, I don't have my phone, but digital is more than looking at your phone, huh? Yeah. It's not digital, huh? But knowing what you can do with the phone, what does it mean for people? That is digital, yeah. So digital is more than phone. Emotional intelligence, yeah, or negotiation skills, just to mention a few things. So you see, have you also noticed that many of these skills here have nothing to do with what you're studying? Whether you're studying engineering, psychology, law, or God knows what, these things are basically independent from the study subject you have. Important. So what they are saying is to be valuable in the market, to find a job that pays the bills for fashion, for cars, for house, for holidays. It means you have to have skills which are basically independent from the topic you're studying. That's interesting. Did you see that? What a revelation, huh? Now, and this has everything to do with the T-shape. The T-shape. Look, the T-shape is a concept, a metaphor that basically says there are two lines, the vertical line and the horizontal line. Sorry, the horizontal line, the vertical line. If you're studying at university, primarily you are being studied to go deep. So you create the vertical line. Psychology 1, psychology 2, psychology 3, psychology 100, yeah? All the topics, very deep, yeah? But on top of that, you have other skills. So it basically represents more the cross-disciplinary competence you need to be able to talk as a psychologist with an engineer, and that an engineer can talk with a psychologist. Not only talk, but also can work together. But also can work with a business person, a financial person, uh, you know, even with a Dutch person. Can you imagine? Yeah. So with many different people, different cultural backgrounds, different expertise. Yeah. And so you could say that, of course, this shaping, this depth here, the deep expertise that you have is something you get often with training on, on schools, universities, etc. For instance, here, um, let's say molecular and secular neurobiology, corporate finance, tax law, psychology, all these topics. Huh? But there is also many other topics which have something to do with this. the opposite. So this more the interpersonal behavioral skills that help you to work successfully with others. For instance, problem solving, effective communication, self-direction, drive, adaptability, um, teamwork, flexibility, leadership, problem. You see all these things, creativity. You see all these things which have nothing to do with your core topic of studying. Yeah. And the funny thing is, that's why the World Economic Forum is so important as an example, that what companies are asking is more this, they assume the depth is what they assume. That is, of course, without, you study university, good university, okay, that should be there. But the real thing is this, that's what you need to develop, the T-shaped professional. Yeah? And you see often MBAs, they go to, let's say, from non-business people, you are, let's say, a medical doctor, a psychologist, an engineer, and then after a while you go to an MBA school and you have to pay big dollars, but basically they learn you the T-shaped elements on top, you could say, yeah? Yeah, yeah. So this is the T-shape. So is it clear the T-shape what it is? So, so an important appeal to you guys is ask yourself, if you look at the list that I showed you from the World Economic Forum, you can go to the World Economic Forum again and you will see they're projecting already for 2025 to 2030. So most likely digital is also kicking in as an extra thing. So you can look at that. Just go to World Economic Forum and ask skills for the future, and they will give you a list. And then you ask yourself, okay, besides my topic I'm studying here at the university, depth, what can we do here? What am I missing? And now is the time to actually engaging in projects in the school, or maybe social projects, or whatever, or maybe do courses to figure out how can I try to accumulate these skills, because companies nowadays will ask more and more, not only about your study topic, but also what is on top, because they know this is the, let's say this here is the vertical line is the, let's say, the common factor. That's also not the uniqueness anymore. That's what they assume. That is without saying. But the success to bring your knowledge as a psychologist, as a business person, as an engineer, because these people have to work together. As a psychologist, you probably have more feeling about the, let's say, the reactions, behavior of a customer. An engineer most likely doesn't have this, but he has more technical skills. And a business person probably has more feeling for marketing and maybe for finances, etc. These three elements have to work together. But if they don't talk, they can't talk with each other. For instance, yeah, this is going to be like a Russian is talking with an Indonesian and with an American together. They don't, well, they all talk in their own language and nobody understands. This is going to be a big disaster. So that's why you could say this T-shaping is a sort of language, a sort of skill to be able to work with others. Yeah. Because nowadays problems are so severe that we have to work with other people, other experts. Yeah. That's why the T-shape is so important. What is the time? Okay. We can take a 3-minute break to contemplate. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to shut your eyes, contemplate, and think about what kind of skills do I have on the T-shape? Yeah? And what is my plan? What should I try to work on besides my normal courses? So I give you the opportunity to contemplate for a few moments. And I can eat the lumpia. Mm, good. Mm, right, right. Want the lumpia? When I go back, I'm going to be like this. Right, here, please, take. Mine. Mm. I'll show you here. Oh, think about this. I mixed up a few, a little bit too much, but
The difference in the effective communication skills. The bottom also
yeah,
effective communication. So that is skills for
I made
oh
I made a
okay.
mistake. Wrong mistake.
No, I think that's also good for hard skills communication. Like for example, if you wanna create email or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. Mostly company look forward for this
yeah. Okay. 5 minutes are over. No? Oh,
one.
not yet. Okay. You need more time? Okay. You get an extra minute. And then I want to hear your contemplation. I will make sure you get the slides, don't worry. We will share the slides with you so you don't have to make copies. Okay. Having said this, let's move to a more important topic because sometimes people ask me the question, what is the difference between a manager and an entrepreneur? Do you have an idea? Do you have an idea what is the difference between a manager and an entrepreneur? This was a question, by the way. So the difference between an entrepreneur and a manager, any idea? Because they often are mixed up. Yeah? What do you think? What do you think? Yes? What is the difference? No, 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 no. Ladies first. Ladies first. Be gentle. Yes. Gentlemen, come on. Yes. What is the difference, do you think? What do you think?
Yeah. So the manager mostly about directing people,
Yeah?
and then entrepreneur try to develop idea.
Not bad. Good. I have something similar.
Oh,
Something similar. Please take a lumpia. No, I have a similar thing, and you could say if you put the two axes, like here on the left side, innovation and creativity, the left side, high, low, and here is the, let's say, more the generical managerial skills like operational management, tactical management, strategic management, this stuff. That these are two different things, and you could say a manager is creativity, innovation, not, let's say, the most important thing, not so, let's say, well, it's often not the most developed thing, let's call it like this. And you see then the other side, this very highly in terms of managing, you say leading people, of directing people, this kind of stuff. That is in line with this thinking. And you have here the innovator. Now, one that can be very creative, can find new ideas, but maybe it's not good in bringing this, managing these ideas and maybe bring it to the market. And you could say an entrepreneur is someone you could say that um, understands the importance of creativity and innovation, but also understands the importance of, let's say, this business and managerial stuff. Yeah, and stated, that doesn't mean here that an entrepreneur, therefore, needs to be the innovator. It can also be that this person understands the importance of an innovative idea and works with that idea. Or it can also mean if you're an entrepreneur and you come to the conclusion when the organization is growing that you are not the best manager, find somebody to manage for you. Yeah, yeah. And how can you do that? How can you, for instance, build these lower skills here, these skills here on the bottom? Huh? How could you build now as students? How could you work on these general management skills? How could you do that? Any ideas? What can you do today? What can you do tomorrow? What can you do?
I can try to sell other products
Maybe. Yeah, that could be.
for the first time. If we don't have money, try to sell.
Yeah. Okay. So you go out there basically, say you're gonna practice, huh? Good, practice. What else could you do? Well, maybe it's something what you said. Of course, you can say, I am going to do management courses. Maybe that's an idea, but that can be very expensive. You can also say, why not work on projects? Maybe project you're doing now and see how you can broaden this. Or actually do social activities, anything. Be part of a student committee. Um, Go out in the community, help solve problems. You build up skills, often related to managerial skills. You have to work with other people. You have to make a project planning, discuss money, how to manage our money. Even if you only if even if you have your project only $100, you still have to manage to make sure that's not costing $120 because then you're $20 short. How to do that? It's the same principle if you're managing a project for $100 or $100 million, a different idea, but the skills that you needed are primarily the same. Of course, it's more complex, but in itself, so you can already start using your skills and developing your skills. Yeah. So don't be shy and go out there and practice. Make mistakes. We'll come to that later. Okay. Now I want to talk more about innovation and creativity because we said the entrepreneur understands the importance of business management, but also understands creativity and innovation. Now, in creativity and innovation, there's something interesting about it because many people have no clue what innovation is, and therefore we're gonna dig into this topic. Yeah. Now, and I'm going to explain this based on sports, and you can see here two ways of jumping. You see on the right side, you see the high jump that you probably are familiar with. Yes, you know this? Walking and then up with the back, yeah? I'm not going to do it, I'm going to break my neck, yeah? But this was done by Dick Fosbury. You can see him here. And he was the one that developed this late 60s, and he applied this technique as the only one in the 1968 Olympics in sorry, do you know where 1968 was Olympics? In Mexico City. Now we're going to watch a video. Everything works well. And please take a note to try to understand the difference between the two techniques. Yeah? And I can tell you the video shows two innovations. Mostly, probably only see one, but there are two innovations. And let's see whether you can see that. Let's see if the video works. Yes. You know this, huh? Look, you see the difference? So, I'll go back here. Have you seen, before I ask you to do different things, there was a debate before the Olympics that the International Athletic Federation wanted to ban this technique because the reason was they were afraid that Dick Fosbury could break his neck on prime time. You could already see the mattress was very low and not so long because the others, and he was, but anyway, there are two innovations. Can you tell me the two innovations that you could see here? Sorry? The force the new jumping is one. The Fosbury flop, we call the Fosbury flop. This the right one is the Fosbury flop. That's the innovation compared to the other one, huh? That's for one. That's one innovation. What is the second? What is ringen? What is that? Yes, yes, yes. What?
Dare to take the risk.
No, no. That's already part of the Fosbury flop. It's in the first innovation. It is so obvious that nobody sees it. Look, I'm going to show you. No, look. Let's start with the second, Fosbury flop. Look at the right. It is an innovation because two elements are changed: the what and the how. The what is, of course, the different jumping technique, and of course that implies also a different way of jumping. Yeah, what and how. But the reason for why we're doing this is not changed. It's just Olympic sports, get a gold medal, etc. Yeah. On the other hand, the guys that were jumping in the old technique, they have been innovating also because they have been training like hell to be able to come better in that technique. So they are improving because if you don't train, you will never go win a gold medal. So you have to train, improve, fine tune, fine tune, fine tune, fine tune, fine tune, fine tune. That means fine tuning. Okay, 10 centimeters further away. 10 what is the speed? So that is innovating, and that takes a lot of time. Talk with these people. People that are going to participate in the Olympics in a few weeks' time. They can tell you that improving takes a lot of sweat. Yeah? But they are improving within the same technique just to fine tune, fine tune, fine tune, fine. That is already innovation. Yeah? The other one is what I call renewal. That means you change by changing the what and the how. Yeah. Here you're only changing the how, the execution, but the technique itself is not changed. Yeah. Now, but there is a third innovation. No. Look. There is this. This is a third innovation. What do you see here? What is this about? Yeah, metamorphose or transformation. Yeah, it's the same. Metamorphose, yeah, is even a nicer word. Huh? But what is happening there? Because not only the how and the what, but also the why is changed. Because you're from caterpillar, you go to a butterfly. It's a completely different reality. Now, what's important here, if you bring this to business and economics, there's this what we call, if you want to do this, you have to do two opposing things. You have to destruction, and creation. So if the butterfly of the, let's say, the animal wants to become a butterfly, it has to crash the caterpillar. The caterpillar is destroyed to become the butterfly. Economically, there is an idea already mentioned in 1942 by Schumpeter. Sorry? Yeah. I, yeah. Yeah. But this already 1942, it's called, what is said here, creative destruction. Yeah. So you have to creative destruction. So if we go to innovation, we have to always ask ourselves, if people talk about innovation, what the hell are we talking about? Are we talking about improvement? Are we talking about renewal? Or talking about transformation? As you can imagine, the complexity and the depth of the innovation changes. Improvement is already very difficult, but you're just, talk with the people of the Olympics, just improving by fine tuning. That can already be very difficult. And remember, if you are better, if we are using the same technique and I'm better because I fine tuned more, then I get the gold medal. If somebody, Professor Laila, and she comes with another technique, and this technique by physics is better, we can train like hell. She always wins if she executes the technique well. But after she has done this, and they are using the technique too, they have to improve, and maybe they become even better than the initial innovator. Yeah. And then of course we have the transformation. Then we go completely into the wild. Now I have a question. Is this clear? Now, I assume you all are familiar with Uber, the taxi company, yeah? Uber, Uber, yeah. You know, or Uber. Oh, sorry. I said Uber, but you said Uber. Okay, yeah, okay. Who has who has taken an Uber taxi? Oh, not. It's the same. Okay, okay. I'm not gonna try to because I'm gonna make a stupid mistake when I say this, yeah? But you know what I'm talking about. Can you tell me what is the transforming, disrupting, destructing feature of that company? We talk about taxi transportation, huh? What is the fundamental uh, disruptive of what do you think? What is the factor here? What is the but why? Why? Technology, you have an app, okay, that's one thing, but there's another fundamental thing. Ah, look, you're offering transportation by not even having cars. How is it possible? And because of the app, you can say, hey, you want to earn something here? Okay, here's the app, install the app, and start driving people around that are in need of transportation. So basically, the technology is one factor. But the really crazy idea is, the fundamental idea is, we always thought in order to offer transportation, I need to own the car or rent the car, lease the car, costs a lot of money. But you can say, is that needed? So they completely change the reality and say, well, I offer service to you with his car and he's driving. Oh my God. You see, that is the disruptive factor here. And the consequence of this is that suppose that we have a taxi company and we just invested in our new taxis. That means our cost level is much higher. We cannot compete. We go bankrupt. You see, destruction. Yeah. So destruction can also mean not only you destruct from yourself, you can also destruct others in the economic system. Yeah. So you kill basically the taxi companies, and from that you can create. So it's not only destruction on yourself; it can also be the economic fabric that you are destroying in a certain way. Yeah. Now this is clear how these three innovations work. Let's go to creativity. What the hell is creativity? I have a question for you. You can't see it, but there's a ping pong ball here. Maybe of the light. Here's a ping pong ball. You know ping pong? Yeah, ping pong. Okay, question for you guys. How many different ways can you use a ping pong ball? How many different ways you can use a ping pong ball? Alice? No, no. I have to rephrase. He's thinking about the technique to use a ping pong ball for ping pong. I didn't ask that. But you can, yeah, what can you do with a ping pong ball? Stress. I can throw it to you, or I can draw faces on it and go, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You know, you can even, there's a crazy idea, a very crazy idea. Well, yeah, I think we have to talk later, yes. No, but you know, there was a crazy idea once with a company that a ship was sunk and they wanted to get it up. And they said, why not put ping pong balls in it, the air, and maybe you can lift this kind of stuff. So you can do all kind of crazy things with ping pong balls if you want. I'm just saying that the creativity, he jumped it immediately into a ping pong game. No. So we're blocking ourselves by already have assumptions about reality. If you believe, let go the assumption, there's a whole new area of applications that you can think about. So if you want to be creative, don't let yourself be taken back, hold you back. That's what the word I'm looking for, by the assumptions. Be open. And the funny thing is, the crazier, the better. Now let's look. Creativity, now here's, for instance, Einstein says creativity is the intelligence having fun. Yeah. Now you could say creativity is basically is about simply producing novel, appropriate ideas for and which is a human activity. So come up with ideas. Yeah? It doesn't mean that they need to be realistic, but just let it flow. Now, okay, how can you do that? Different ways. Now, for instance, here's an interesting idea. Do you know this product on the side? You know how the guy who developed this is called George de Mistral, was a Swiss guy, if I'm correct. Do you know how he figured, hey, how he found this idea, how he came to this idea? Very simple. He was walking with his dog, constantly, and his dog had a long haired dog with long hairs. And the dog had often these kind of seeds in the hair of the skin, of the dog, and he had to pull it down. Oh my God, difficult. And he thought, oh wait, there is something like sticky things, and okay. And he started developing an idea. Can you imagine? And this is the idea. So sometimes it's just a matter of looking around and seeing things. And often solutions are already there in a peculiar way in nature. Yeah? For instance, people in aviation, making planes, etc., aerodynamics, they often look at nature because nature has find ways to be, very aerodynamic and can learn. So you can learn from other areas to pick up ideas. And sometimes even then when you are actually looking for solutions. But here, the guy saw this and they said, hey, this is interesting. What can I do with this? And he created this product. Most of you probably are using it every day. Can you imagine? My God, what an idea. Huh? Okay, I will skip this. Have you ever heard of the double diamond design process? Convergent and divergent convergent thinking. It basically says you have to do two things. You need to discover, define, develop, and deliver. First, you start with a problem statement. We think this is the problem, the starting point. Yeah? Then you dig into the problem by doing research. Research means here not only go into the library or look at articles, but also go out to people that have the problem. Why is it that people always, when they walk here, they fall? Oh, oh, what's happening? Why are they falling? Well, oh God, no. That's a big problem. We're going to investigate. Why is it that these people are always stumbling here? We do investigate observations, talking, do all research in the library, for instance. You combine things, getting data. Gesundheit. And by doing this, you get an idea what the actual problem is. And then you create here a specific, you get insight, and then you make the problem more specific, make it smaller, more to the point. And from that, you start what we call ideation. Ideation, idea, and creation. You start ideas. Creativity plays a role there. We will see that in a moment. And then you start prototyping, testing. Don't talk about the product. Show me the product. How does it look like? Small examples can be a drawing, can be made from paper, whatever. Doesn't need much cost, just make it simple. Show people because people won't smell, feel, oh, touch, oh, let me try it. It's not perfect, but it gives an idea. You get feedback. It's not what I want. So you go back and then you go back. No, the insight from the customer is not good. You have to fine tune. And then you go into iterations. And the more iterations you can do, the better it becomes. So it means here understanding, discovery, designing, testing. Get feedback, go back. Maybe you have to go back to the definition. Maybe the problem is wrongly defined. You fine tune, or the idea is not good. And then you have iterate. The more and the faster you can do, the better it is. Yeah. That's what they also call design thinking. Yeah. Yeah.
The foundation of design thinking.
This related to that. Now, what do you see here?
Faces.
Ah, how many faces do you see?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Count for yourself, please.
3, 4, 6, 5, 7.
Oh, much more. Look here. Here's a face. Here's a face. Here's a face. There are many faces. I don't know how many. Many, 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 many faces. You see that already the way you look is already blinding you. Open up. Start looking. What do you see? You see, oh, many faces. There are faces almost everywhere if you look carefully. Yeah. The longer you look, the more faces you see. Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about this divergent. It means divergent is this. Look, divergent is the first part here. Opening up, and then try to get as much broader as you can, and then bring it to the point. That is the convergent. Yeah. So let's look at the divergent. All kind of techniques. You just randomly can start looking around. That's one association. Sometimes they talk about flower association. What does it mean? You put in the middle a word and say, what is the first word that comes up when you talk about Holland? Flowers, orange, bad people, whatever, yeah? And then you take the second layer and say, what comes up when you talk about orange? Color, flower. So you can make leaves on the flower, start with one point. And by doing this, just let it flow. Then if you look from a distance, you might come to areas, hey, this is an interesting idea. And then you can start working further. For instance, that's a flower association. Imagination, you just can start drawing things. When I'm creative, I was, getting a notebook and drawings, and you show it, oh, this, and then maybe things can start moving. Analogies, huh? Here, for instance, well, maybe we can. A church is a building, but maybe you can also use another way. What would happen if you would put in another context? That's what you can do. Yeah. Metaphors, huh? Reverse. Remember the false belief flop? Yeah. What happened if you reverse? Let's do the opposite. Yeah. Brainstorming, this stuff. You can also do negative brainstorm. It's also interesting. How to make it worse? How to make it, because if you know how to make it bad and you reverse, then you maybe also know how to make it better. So that's negative brainstorming. Yeah. Here's the flower association. Yeah, what I said, church, and then you say church, you say high, roof, belt, clock, and if you say well, you take a roof, you can say black, red, party, etc. So you build up ideas, all kind of word, and by combining these ideas, you might find new directions. That is the idea here. This is also important, what we call lateral thinking. What my friend always said, tap into the madness. Huh? Go crazy. Yeah. So you can say, for instance, you can try to do the traditional logic and go here. You can also let's go around. Yeah, that's lateral thinking. So if there's an obstacle here, so okay, well let's walk around it. Yeah. Sometimes you see these funny movies that somebody wants to get over a line or something. You can say, okay, let's go under it. Yeah, lateral thinking. Yeah. Yeah, the video is not working. Um, unfortunately, I don't have contact internet connection here. But have you ever seen the video, the famous video of Apple, where they show you, yeah, the think differently, with Gandhi and and Picasso, and they said all good ideas, what we see now as good ideas, start with people who are crazy. So that's why I say go into the crazy. It's not a, as long if you don't start burning money, it's okay. But crazy idea, because many ideas are crazy. Can you imagine? I flew over here by plane. Somebody, the two brothers, I forgot their names now, thought, let's make a machine that we can fly like birds. Luckily they did, otherwise I could not have been here. And that time they said these guys have to go to an institution. Crazy people have good ideas. So be crazy. This is another technique that I want to share with you. Have you ever heard the scamper technique? It's a very old technique already from the 70s and basically says the following. Look, substitute, combine, adapt, modify, magnify, make it smaller, put to other use, eliminate, and rearrange or reverse. Let me see if this works. Oh, here, let's go one by one, and then hopefully I can show you a video at the end. For instance, substitute. I know that you in Indonesia you don't drink alcohol, so you're probably not so familiar with that. But if you have a bottle of wine, you have a cork, yeah, the cork, yeah. If you collect many corks, you can throw it away. Why not make a chair? Yeah. So you substitute the material. Hey, you have a very creative idea. Or what about combining? Maybe you can use your phone also as an amplifier to look. Well, why not? Uh, for instance, this is the idea. I'm gonna try to show you in a moment. Uh, Maybe later. I will show you. But I'm gonna I can explain to you what happened here is depth. What this company did was, it turned out in Sweden, as in many other countries, people are not using stairs. So what they did is, why not create stairs? And when you walk the stairs, it's like hitting the piano. Yeah. So they overnight they created the stairs like a piano, and people were, man. You know how many more people are taking the stairs? 66%. Combining, so you combine stairs, same as the piano. So you're combining things, yeah, bring things together. Here, this is a famous artist. I forgot his name now, but he is amplifying day-to-day things. Amplifies it 100 times. It gives it a color and sells it as very expensive art. Make it bigger, make it smaller. Yeah. Or for instance, here you have this famous bottle again, yeah, and you put a lamp in it, and you have a green light. You can also throw away the bottle. Yeah. Or who knows this painter? Is a very famous painter. If you have a painting of this guy, we talk at least $50 million. Piet Mondriaan. Have you ever heard Piet Mondriaan? Is a Dutch artist. Lived, let's say, 50, 60 years ago. He died, and his idea was eliminate. Basically, he makes all kind of paintings with lines, and basically was inspired by New York, where you have this grid of the city, and I can also paint the city, but he was taking more and more out and just as lines with colors. Piet Mondriaan, bill millions if you have to buy it now. I have 5 at home. Replica, sorry. uh, and that's of course here. our reverse. Why should you go by the belly if you can also go by the back? Yeah. Now, what's important also here, fail. More, we need more failing because failing means first attempt in learning. The problem is not the failing, the problem is not learning from the failing. So fail, as you said, test, design, test, test, talk with people, give it out there, bring it out there, see the reaction is test, test, test. So failing is good. You know, in the Netherlands, we have a guy, he actually started an institute, the Institute of Brilliant Failures. And he says everybody's entitled to make failures. They just should learn. And now comes a very famous failure. Do you know this product?
Yep. Actually, for the
Ah, look, the medicine was designed for cardiological problems. And when they were testing, it turned out that approximately 50% of the population, it had a certain unpredicted effect. I'm saying very diplomatically. It had a very unpredicted effect, which the other potentially 50% of the population is very, very find this very interesting. I'm trying to say it very diplomatically. Yeah? And they say, hey, why not sell this product for the byproduct? So it was in a way failure, but it turned out to be a wonderful product for another sense. So the failure can be a very success story. I'm not sure whether everybody understands the product, but maybe somebody can explain to them later. Yeah. So what's important is also think big, start small, experiment, experiment, experiment. So if you want to develop your T-shape of elements, don't wait for exams, etc. Go out there, learn, make mistakes, learn from it. That's the best way. For instance, if you are in a company, of course, in the startup phase, maybe it's a little bit too much. But if you're in a company and you want to test something, you can have, you can make very thick, portfolios and explain business plans and God knows what. I would say maybe you can also do other things. Create an experiment, maybe maximum $5,000 or relatively to your context, a small amount of money. Test it for 4 or 5. You see what happens. If it works, you continue. If not, you try something else. Yeah. So to finalize, get out there, stretch your legs, get your bottoms to do action. Yeah. So kick into your bottom. Yeah. Develop your T-shape. Think about the competence that you could, the competence on the flat line, no, on the horizontal. See what you can do. Check, for instance, World Economic Forum. Check how far are you, because that is what companies want from you. That's what you also need if you want to become an entrepreneur yourself. What are these things? The success factor to work with others. Yeah. Learn also from expertise. As a psychologist, learn from an engineer. Engineer learns from a psychologist. Psychologist learns from a medical doctor, from a lawyer. You get God knows what. You can learn from each other. Yeah. And then develop these creative skills, innovative skills. I mentioned a few techniques. Start experimenting. Fail. Fail. First attempt on learning. And learn from the failing. And the most important thing is what I learned once I was visiting a colleague. She lives in San Francisco, and we were going to a Japanese restaurant. And we had a fortune cookie. And the fortune cookie said this: there's nothing more dangerous than an idea if it's the only idea you have. So have more ideas. So that's why I'm saying, go back here. That's what I'm trying to say here. Don't fall in love with your first idea. Yeah? Because very dangerous, because most likely that is not the idea that's going to work. You have to further develop your idea. Yeah? Make mistakes. test it. Yeah, that's the idea. So I hope, I hope, I hope that I have given you a few ideas to get out there, to develop your T-shaped competences, find ideas, find solutions, and put out a challenge. I have a challenge for you. How can you solve the traffic jungle of Jakarta? Why not? Look, if you can't solve this problem, who can? Because we are facing a global problem. It's called ecological problem. We can see it in the traffic. So if you can't solve the problem, there's also a lot of psychological issues. Huh? Huh? Routines is psychology. Huh? I'm an amateur psychologist, but I think you agree with me. Huh? So changing routines is a psychological matter. So if you can't change that, who can? So take the ambition and try. Next year when I come here, I want to see the jungle, the traffic jungle, huh? Solved. Good luck. Yes. See you next year. Okay.
We have a lot of giveaway for
Oh yeah, yeah,
maybe you can.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Please. They can help. Those who ask a question get a book, and
Already prepared for the what I need. Please, anyone? You can use in English or also in Bahasa as well.
yes. No? Ah, you gonna sing? You're gonna sing? Yes, please. Say it in Indonesia.
Okay, his name is Bintang, and he asked for how insight to the first attempt, first step.
Okay. Thank.
Sorry, a lot of people now become entrepreneurs. We already know, but how to make the first leap, the first step,
What does he mean with the first lead?
first step to do as an entrepreneur.
Very simple. Start doing it. Try it. Do it. Very simple. It's like kissing a girl. Yeah. You need to get over the bridge. Yeah. And then, once you have done this, maybe then, first time, first time probably is not perfect, but maybe the second time is better. You know, I would say go out there. You know the techniques. You know how to make a value proposition, and start small things, small experiments. Solve the problem for one person, then you can do for two, three, four, five. You don't have to create one big company at the beginning. That's not needed. Solve one. Start small. Find some people. Look for their problems. Find a solution, and from there maybe others have the same problem and they can grow. You don't have to have fancy things. Small, small. Start, think big, start small. Think about kissing. Because kissing has also another meaning. Kissing is kissing, but also means keep it simple and stupid. Yeah. Next question. Oh, yes. I want to shake. Oh, sorry, I didn't see.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yes.
I'm the one who adopting ourselves with it. Myself. Uh, so how to set that mind, our mind to uh, to increase our
Okay.
confidence.
Yeah, it's basically the same answer. Think, have a big idea, start small, and again, it's like kissing, the first time you have to just, see what happens, try it, and if you keep it small, there's not much risk, not much money involved. Let other people think. If you believe in your idea, pursue the idea, work on the idea, and then you can move forward. And what can happen? It can fail. So what? Learn from it, and then and next time you do better. So that's the cycle. So by failing, you can learn how to do better. So the more you fail, and the faster you fail, so you can think about it weeks and this and this and this and this and this. You can also take a little less time to think the core idea and then start. Especially in your age, there is almost no risk because you don't have a mortgage, you're not married, whatever. You don't have to pay for whatever. The risk is simply very low. The only thing that can happen is that people laugh with you, but you have the experience. So I would say have the confidence, do it, and see what happens. That is my only advice I can give you. Don't be afraid.
Okay, good. Just remember the Nike. Just do it. Yeah. Not check. Okay. Thank you, Kemal. Right. Please. Anyone? Ask? Okay. Oh, that's a lot.
Oh, now they see prices and now the questions
Okay.
come.
This one first. Okay. Later. Right. Siapa di sini? Berdua.
Hello? Okay. Okay. Well, if you have ideas about technology, especially ecological technology, if I understand correctly, the best way is try to think about a prototype. Prototype can also be, let's say, a visualization of the prototype. how it could work. And then maybe it's a matter of contacts, maybe at the university, the engineering department. Maybe they can bring you in contact with companies, investors, and make a pitch. Do pitch training. Pitch training is very simple. You need five things. Basically, what is the problem? What is basically the core of your idea? Whose problem are you solving? What is the uniqueness of your idea? The secret sauce. And the fifth one is time for action. You ask something from the investor. Hey, this is what I can do. I need help. Give me $10,000 to make a first prototype, something like that. So especially when you go into technology, make let's say a paper prototype, for instance, or sometimes maybe a sort of simply working prototype, even better. If you met with it doesn't need to be fancy as long as you can show it works, and it can. And important is also um, um, scalable. Can you scale it? Because especially in solar energy, these kind of solutions, you need scaling. So if it works in a laboratory, it's fine. But if you can't scale it, there is not yet value yet. So if it can, you show what works, you can also show this is how it's scalable, and then maybe talk with people, and even if you really think it works, you can even think about asking for a patent. But then you must make sure that nobody knows about it. You shouldn't talk about it because from the moment you talk about it, you cannot and put it on paper. You cannot patent it anymore. But that takes money. But it's a way to go. So, but I would say small prototype, physically or visually, otherwise, and scalable. Is it scalable? That's interesting for investors. That's what I would say. And give me 5% of the shares. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you. So basically, sorry, what's your name? Lisa? Patrick. Okay. Patrick, uh, in UMB, we have incubator business.
Oh, you already have.
So you can
Yeah.
go there.
Good point.
Uh, just try to meet with the Dok Budaru, and then every year we also have event. It's nationally, so you can go there. Try to contact several lecturer to become your supervisor. I think. Okay, there's a lot of opportunity. Okay, right.
Next question.
Next question. This one, I think.
How do you approach the risk management in your business venture? For example, like there is a rival who is following you to make a same product.
Competition.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
About how to cope with the risk management because someone else tries to follow your product.
and make it better, maybe. Yeah, okay, that is always that is a whole story. There's all kind of techniques. Of course, you can protect your idea, but that can take a lot of money. Because then you take a legal approach that can work. Sometimes it's very a good idea to protect your idea, and then you can sue and these kind of stuff. But that can be very complicated. But you can also say um, um, try to understand what the real needs of the customer are. And then don't look from the product side, look from the customer side and see how if you understand the problem of customers and you tap into that and you can even enrich and integrate more, let's say, problem solving for the customer and maybe also bring then additional things. That's what they um, you have minimal requirements. Look, if you have a pen, you want that the pen is writing. But you also want to maybe have another feature like um, that's clock integrated or that it is an alarm, whatever, or the way it looks like, this kind of stuff. So there are different features that you can think about But the most important thing, if the features can enrich, or you can enrich your product with features that solve additional problems, and you can even put it into service. Means I give you a product, but I can create service around it. It becomes more difficult for others to copy, and there's also a way of protecting. I'm not sure whether that gives an answer, but maybe that's something you could consider. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In other words, you need to find the pain gain jobs, I think.
Thank you. The pains and the gains.
Yeah,
Yes.
pains and the gain. Right. Oh, there's a lot.
Ah,
Wait. Siapa lagi nih? Oh, ini.
yes, it's on.
After I was Nandan from psychology, I want to ask if entrepreneur is like we need to learn about it to become entrepreneur, or we just like uh, born like some individuals like born with entrepreneurs like with ideas with innovation, or some people just don't have it, or we just like in school and we need to develop the entrepreneurship.
Good question. Thank you. What is a famous sports person in Indonesia that everyone knows? How is it I know you know I know you're very good in badminton.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot.
you're very
Wrestling.
good in badminton, huh? In Indonesia, huh? I think Olympic champion even or not? Do you know these people have talent? But if you have talent and you sit all day like this, nothing. Even if you have talent, you have to do something. And even with hard work, you can also create talent. So it's not a matter of being born with this. You know, you need to, of course, you might have a little more better starting position, but you have to develop your skills, your entrepreneurial skills, problem solving, critical thinking, innovative thinking. These things are needed by anyone nowadays. It is not necessary for you that you design a rocket to go to Mars. It would be nice if you could, but you know, but you need similar skills also to solve problems in your field. And you don't have to become a business owner, but when you start working in a hospital or a psychiatry clinic or psychology clinic or whatever, you will be confronted with problems that you have to deal with, not only with the patient but also with the organization, insurance companies, God knows what. You need to have the skills to solve these problems. That's what I call entrepreneurial. Not entrepreneur, that's what I call entrepreneur. And these skills are needed. You don't have to build a company, but you can. But in a normal setting, you need these skills as well. So, and you know, I mentioned a few, and you can do self-assessment to see to what extent you already have this, and then you can start making mistakes to learn. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. You know, right. I think this is the last question for me.
Let it go. Oh, last fashion about fashion.
We still have a lot.
Oh, more questions. Okay.
Is it okay?
Ah, for me, it's okay.
Right, please.
Okay, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Azura, and as I said earlier, I have a business, fashion business, and sometimes I got a failure experience on that business. And when I had an experience, I feel my emotionally and my mentally is unstable. And I know, like you said in the last presentation, like fail is the first attempt in learning. And when we had a problem, we should focus on opportunity instead of the problems. But sometimes I can control it. Like when I have a failure experience, I can control my emotionally and I can control my mentality. So the question is how do you think like I can keep my mentally and my emotional keep stable after that failure experience.
Oh, that's a very good question. I'm not sure because you asked me to go into a field that is for me a little bit. I'm not saying unknown, but from, let's say, an expertise level, huh? Maybe you need to talk with some people who have more psychologically experience. But what I can tell you, I think, is that um, don't punish yourself too much in terms of ambition is good, but if you are over ambitious and you become a perfectionist, that can also, you can also backfire to you. So having a level of perfection is okay, but in the beginning stage, when you start experimenting, I'm not sure how far you are, but if you're in the beginning, then being over perfectionist is maybe not a good thing. Eventually, you want to have good products, etc., but perfection doesn't exist. So don't punish you too much. Sometimes you have to accept that you cannot help and make everyone happy. Yeah, that's also part of life. But maybe it comes um, with the years, I would say. And it can also be good to have a partner. I mean, a business partner, because then, and if this person has a different personality, you can say, hey, come on, it's not so big player. So you can help each other. You don't have to carry the burden by yourself. So maybe that's something to consider. And sometimes it's also a matter of fact, if with the client you have a problem, talk with the client and try to understand why this is a problem and try to be honest about, what went wrong, etc. If you explain to clients and you have empathy to the client, mostly they accept and you know, if you, of course, if you go to the hairdresser and you by accident you cut off all the hair, maybe people will not like that so much. But that's a very extreme example maybe. But if you talk with them and you're empathic for the impact it has on them, mostly they understand. And if you show what you're going to do and explain to them, mostly they can appreciate that. That's what I would say. So share your emotions and also or your feelings with the client. Maybe they can in an empathic way. Not say you are wrong, but what on your side might not have gone so well. But again, this is in the field of psychology, and I'm not a psychologist, so thank you.
Okay. Right. Give applause. So who's next? From that, I think to remaining. This one first. Hah? Iya, bentar ya. Oke.
Can you repeat the question again because I couldn't hear it so well. Please repeat. Also, a very difficult question. So if I understand you correctly, you want to say want to go from startup to scale up. Is that what you're saying?
Setting up for the first for the foundation.
For the startup, yeah.
Okay, building his own business, and then to what? To have that confidence.
Yeah, the confidence, what you need is to start, but of course you can prepare. The preparation is who is your customer? What are their issues, problems, needs, desires? To what extent can you solve that? So I'm talking about solving. I'm not talking about product. I'm solving. A product is a solution for something. So can you solve their problems? Do you know how to do that? Can you repeat it? Can more people be satisfied with this idea? So if you have this, then you can slowly start by doing so, and then keep the relationship with the client well. Ask for experience. How was it? And then learn from that and try to move forward further. But the point is, of course, in the beginning, make sure the most important start with the client in mind. Don't start with the product. product is a physical thing, but you can also see it as a solution. But in order to have a solution, you first must know what is the problem. So the problem is on the customer. They have a frustration, irritation, whatever. So that's a problem. That's what you want to solve. Even this is also this is not a problem. Sorry, this is not a product. This is a solution for not getting dehydrated. You know, you see, you see that's a problem as a product or as a solution. My advice is think in solutions, but therefore you need to find first problems, and then you can find solutions. And it shows itself. Oh, it shows itself in a product or service. Yeah. So it's a little bit different thinking. Maybe, I'm not sure whether I answer your question, but that's what I would be my reaction to your question. Yeah. Good luck.
Uh, After this is the last question.
Question or question?
Oh, question, sorry.
Okay.
So you have one or several questions? One. Okay. There's only one.
Okay.
Right.
Final one.
My name is Wildan Surya. You can call me Will. If you are student, I am electrical engineering.
Sorry.
Electrical engineering. I am.
Electric engineer. Okay.
My question is, if you are student, what is more important to you, profit or social impact? Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, that is a personal thing. Um, for me, no. Selfish thing. Look, um, if you want to have social impact, uh, often you see the younger generations is more social impact oriented. That's good. You can also say, so that depends on your personal values. You can also say that in order to have social impact, you must also make sure that you create a condition for yourself to have social impact. But if you can combine, it's even better. And you see more and more companies that they have so-called hybrid, let's say, ideas, which on the one side they say, well, we understand that we need to make profits, but the profits on itself can have negative effects. So to make sure that what we're doing has also social impact. For instance, climate is such an example. If you can find solutions for climate issues, starting small but high potential, then you solve a social you have social impact. At the same time, this can also be a very lucrative business. So if you can combine, you don't have to go into dilemma. And mentally, maybe that's a good idea. But if you want to go social impact and you feel satisfied, please do. But also make sure that you can live from the things that you're doing, that you can earn at least an income. Doesn't mean you have to make a fortune, but you need to have, let's say, certain basics, certain economic basis should be in place. Otherwise, it is you need a philanthropic investor. Unfortunately, I don't have the means to invest in your in your project. I'm a very poor person, so I don't know. But very good question.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. Give applause for Will. Okay. So, uh, should we give the
Yeah,
Will?
please, please.
No, I mean this one give to Will then first.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone still want to ask? Ada lagi? Huh? Mau nanya?
Yeah, yeah.
Hah?
You sure?
Sure,
Sure.
if you ask.
Come on, don't be shy.
Okay, well that's good.
Ah,
Jangan sampai ke bawah mimpi.
good.
Pertanyaannya bahasa Indonesia aja ya, Pak. Jadi yang saya mau tanya itu
Oh ya.
bagaimana kita tuh menemukan sebuah motivasi untuk diri kita sendiri untuk memulai sebuah entrepreneur, karena bahkan terkadang kalau kita sudah tahu cita-cita orang terbesar dengan kesuksesannya itu tanpa mulai, kita tuh bahkan masih susah, masih ragu untuk memulai, atau bahkan kita tuh udah nemuin sebuah ide gila, kita tuh malah jadi rasa males gitu buat memulainya. Jadi intinya pertama memotivasi.
Right. How we find our motivation to do the entrepreneur? Because many things sometimes we can hear about, oh, there's a success story from the others, but we still cannot do for the motivation to
Yeah.
ourselves.
Look, I think you are the experts in motivation. You are student psychology. You know much more about motivation than I have. But yeah, I guess. But look, the motivation needs to come from yourself. And so, yeah, it's like they have a saying in English. They say you can bring the horse to the water, but the horse has to drink himself. So we can give facilitation can be there, but eventually, look, it is hard work. It is not, let's say, straightforward. It is not linear. You have to work hard. You have to do crazy things. You have setbacks. Hopefully, you have success as well. But don't believe all the success stories, because what you see behind the screens is hard work, failures, setbacks, frustration, anger, all kind of stuff. Very human behavior. So if you think it's one shot and everything goes like you end up in paradise, I have to say wake up, because it is your personal motivation and it's going to be hard. But if you do things, it can go wrong, but it can be success. But at least the most important thing is make sure to have fun. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. Thank you. Right. I think Zina, cukup.
yeah. And we have one more book, so we can have one final question.
Ah, we still have the last
Yeah.
prize for.
Over there.
Oh, okay. Good. Ah, asal jangan pakai bahasa isyarat.
Saya jangan sangat My name is Patricia. Pakai bahasa Indonesia ya. Jadi kan kalau misalnya mau memulai bisnis itu kita harus dengan sesuai passion ya, biar lebih gampang. Nah, tapi terkadang Tuhan ini menuntut kita untuk melanjutkan bisnisnya orang tua. Nah, bisnis orang tua ini biasanya tuh berbanding kebalik banget sama passionnya kita. Nah, tapi kalau misalnya kita nggak ngelakuin lanjutin usahanya dari orang tua kita bisa anak durhaka. Kita tuh nggak bisa lanjutinnya.
I see a very difficult question coming.
Right.
Okay, tell me.
Confused with anak durhaka. No, I think basically start the business with her passion, but
You're a psychologist. Okay.
yeah, but her parents want her to continue the
Ah,
business.
pressure,
Yeah,
pressure.
and then uh, sometimes her parents say that, oh, you are bad bad daughter because you cannot continue the business.
Ah,
But he said, she said, I want to continue. I want to do the business based on patience.
yeah, this is a very delicate question. I don't want to get in problems with your family. You have to solve your own problems here. Yeah? But this is often what we see in let's say family businesses, that there's a certain medical a sort of pressure to take over. Yeah, that is. Do you have siblings? Okay, so maybe they can help. Maybe some can take the burden. I don't know. But eventually, look, it is very simple. You are young. they're older. That means, you have to live still, you have still maybe 60 years to live. And if you are forced into something that you don't feel comfortable with, well, you can say, well, it's my parents, I do it. If you do it, don't start bitching and blaming. If you make the decision to do it, then you have to take the consequences. If you want to take and do something based on your own value, you have to take the consequences that you have to, maybe potentially create a conflict with them. But that's a matter of what you want yourself. That is the fundamental dilemma, because what you do, or your parents are not happy, or you are not happy. Or maybe you can find a combination. Maybe you can do something in the field that you do something in the business, but based on what you like, not what they like. Maybe you can find a solution in between. But you have to do some. But if you have a compromise, this will, in the a long term, will make you feel unhappy. That's what I think. But again, I'm not a psychologist. You know better. You're a psychologist. But I think you feel what I'm trying to say. Good
Okay.
luck.
Right. Thank you. Give a plus. Well, okay. Thank you. I think finally we come to the end of the lecture, right? There are some points that I can highlight. The first, there's a lot, I think. The first, mostly entrepreneurs start from garage, because what was it? Apple also, and then Google,
Yeah.
and even MBTI. You know MBTI? Yeah, it's from the garage as well. So a lot of big companies start from small company and then try to focus on idea, okay? And then after that, entrepreneur see the opportunity rather than problems. That's why entrepreneurial thinking and acting, right? Like JCJ said, it's not all about the money, money, money. Yeah. Okay, and then entrepreneur is not a job, but skill set and mindset thinking, I think. Okay, there are 15 skills. Maybe we need to take a look later.
Yeah.
The 15 skills that I already mentioned. And we came across the T shape. Okay, it's about deep expertise is a common factor that we learn in university, but otherwise, cross domain skills and attitude also important.
Yeah.
And then that's most skills. Sorry, skills that most company needed for all of you. Also, entrepreneur doesn't need become innovator to develop skills. Just you can start with sorry, to develop skills. Start with do some project. Okay, that's the small step.
Yeah.
Think big, and
Yeah.
then act small. And also we come across with the destruction and creation. Okay, for the innovation, improvement, renewal, and transformation. There are three.
Metaphor
Okay.
force.
And then, so for the entrepreneur, the crazier is the better.
For the ideas.
For the ideas, okay. For the ideas, okay. And then we also learn about double diamond design process. I
Yeah.
think that's a good thing. And also we have a abbreviation or something, scamper, substitute,
Camper. Yeah.
combining, adapt, modify, magnify, minify, put to another use, eliminate, and rearrange or reverse. Okay, last but not least, think big, start small, don't fall in love with your first idea. Okay,
Thank
I
you.
think
So
okay.
now get up, put your hands in the air, put on your shoulder. Well done.
Well,
And then you go, and then you put your hand on the shoulder of your colleague and say, well done.
well done.
See you.
Okay, thank you. Give applause for Dr. Mark Govers. Okay, we would like to say thank you to Dr. Mark Govers for the amazing lecture this afternoon. and also to all of the audience for your attention and also active participation as well. Hopefully this lecture will be beneficial for everyone. Have a good day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Oh yeah. We also
Oh,
have a ceremony for the certificate. That's fine. Okay.
okay.
Put it. Saya mau foto. Mana? Mau difoto? Mas Sabir foto. My phone is running out the battery. Mas Sabir, Mas Sabir. Sini sini dari sini dari sini.
What is it? Okay. Thank
Lagi lagi.
you.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. Oh, oh, you wanna take
Yeah.
picture? He wanna take a picture with you. Lagi. One, two. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, Mas Sabir. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your contribution. Thank you all. I think that's all. Okay, off for Mas Sabir. Maybe we can meet in another session. Okay. Oh, take a picture. Okay. Di sini berarti. Oh, we here. Nah, oke. Yuk, yuk merapat. Apa? Oke. Ah, tukeran tempat katanya. Kapan, kapan? Yuk, terus merapat. Lihat, kena semua nggak? Nah, ke depan, ke depan. Ya, di situ, di situ. Oke. Sudah? Sudah masuk semua? Gak apa-apa sini dulu. Oh, di mana? Sini, sini. Aduh, sorry, sorry.
No, 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 no.
Katakan buncis. Berenang. Freestyle. Thank you. Okay, thank you for all. Okay, have a good day. Yuk.